Well, a very good afternoon from wherever you're watching us from. Many thanks for joining us this afternoon for K24 Newscast. My name is Bentura Komboka and I've compiled for you the latest happenings across the country, including the public participation on the impeachment motion against Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. And now let's take a look at what's making headlines at this hour. Sign language, me?
Kenyans turn out in numbers to express their views on the impeachment of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua.
Hapo juzi alikuja kanambia wewe utakuua mpaka kama babangu ulivyomuua. Na babake aliuawa na gari, sikumkata na panga mimi. Babake aliuawa na gari.
Naomba washikadau waje pamoja wachukue hili jambo walitangaze kama janga.
Outcry by Kilifi residents over the increase of attacks against the elderly in witchcraft allegations.
Kenya Wildlife Service imepanga vizuri sana. Hawa ndovu 50 watahamishwa wale binafsi, na pia familia za ndovu zitapelekwa pamoja, zinapelekwa Aberdare National Park.
And the epic KWS translocation of 50 elephants from the Moya National Reserve to the Aberdare in Nyeri.
Welcome to the program. And Kenyans across the country are submitting their views on the impeachment motion against Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. And we are having our reporters across various counties to bring you these activities. And now we are joined live by our reporter Brian Amwai, who's currently in Nyeri County. Good afternoon, Brian. What are the latest developments on that exercise? We've seen some section of members of parliament from the Mount Kenya actually changing their stance, saying that come Tuesday they will vote no against the impeachment motion.
All right, yes, Bentura, we are coming live to you from Nyeri County. We are specifically at the Nyeri Cultural Center, where the exercise of actually collecting views in the name of public participation for the impeachment motion against Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has been taking place since morning. This particular area was to consolidate all the constituencies in this particular county. You're talking about 7 constituencies that were supposed to come here, collect the forms, sign them, and those who had signed from home were supposed to drop those particular forms here so that they actually get to be included in what we are calling actually at this particular moment public participation exercise that is happening across the country as far as this impeachment motion is concerned. But it was a beehive of activities here from morning, because it was an exercise that was supposed to start from 9 a.m. all the way to 5 p.m. in the afternoon, or rather in the evening, but it did not go as planned because the chaos erupted because of different issues that the residents in this particular area were able to raise as far as this exercise is concerned. It forced them to take to the streets to demand that the illegalities, quote unquote, that they said were actually taking place, championed by different political leaders coming from this particular region, trying to air their dissatisfaction with what they termed as members of parliament somehow infiltrating or rather using militia, coming into the exercise and buying out what they are calling people to support the motion, which is actually contravening their stand as a region which is against the impeachment of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. They do not want him impeached. They are against this particular motion. So they somehow allegedly, they allege that some of the members of parliament, to some extent, went ahead to start, hoodwinking voters or rather residents in order to try and support the motion. But I just want to get to engage some of the leaders that are here to try and explain to us on exactly some of the issues that they've been able to raise, what we've been able to experience since morning, and whether this exercise will continue to late in the evening, because at this particular moment there's nothing much that is happening as far as people taking part in this particular exercise. Let me start with you, sir. Kindly start with your name and tell us exactly what has been some of the concerns that the residents of this particular region have had as far as the exercise is concerned.
Thank you. My name is Anthony Kiai, Member of Parliament Mokoroine Emeritus. I was in the last parliament, and we are here to participate in public participation. over the impeachment of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. And there are some few issues that we have noticed. Number one, you look at the form that we are supposed to fill in. That form, all of them are photocopies. They are no originals. They don't have serial numbers. And the way they are being filled is very confusing, even to the most learned, including when you're supposed to fill whether you support the motion or not. And there are other boxes that are just below that. And what many people are doing is also ticking those boxes. And the moment you tick, you are deemed to have impeached the president, the deputy president. So there needed a lot of civic education on how to go about the issue of public participation. Number two, we are saying this is a plan to make sure that the impeachment goes through. Because the time allocated for the public participation is very, very, very short. You cannot do such thing with the momentous consequences in exactly 3 hours. And that is why you have seen people around being very dissatisfied with the whole process.
So on the issue of dissatisfaction, we did see people taking to the streets, going all the way to Nyeri town to, air their grievances as far as this process is concerned. What are some of the things that they were raising?
They were raising the issues about the forms don't have serial number. There was lateness of starting the process. Number two, there was no coordinated way of ensuring that the views are well captured, collated, and kept somewhere. You have seen during the voting what happens. There are security people who make sure that the ballot boxes are guarded. Right now, if you go in, they are not even guarded. Zimewekwa kama mandizi hapo ama machungwa. So, meaning people have realized this is not a public participation per se. It's a sham. It's something to deceive the people of Mount Kenya, the people of Nyeri. And what we are saying is that we do not agree with public participation that is happening today in the whole of Kenya. We are saying it is cosmetic, it is illegal, and it is shoddy, and it doesn't comply with the law as envisaged.
Thank you so much for your views. Maybe if I engage you, you say it is in bad faith. Why do you believe that?
That is because the deputy president is the only one for now who has the interests of common mwananchi at heart. He is articulating the issues that are affecting mwananchi. That are affecting mwananchi. And again, I would call upon our members of parliament, because they represent us. Let them articulate the will of Wajiko. We do not support, because we do not find any reason. Because it is like fishing expedition, looking for a mistake here, there. Once they find that it's not enough, they look it somewhere else. There's no mistakes or things that the deputy president has done that have substance. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. I'd like to engage one person before I take you in there, so that we get to see it and understand whether those are actually the forms are actually under security or not. Kindly, what are the grievances of the people of this particular region as far as this impeachment is concerned?
My name is Watson Wero, the MCA Karatina, where the refugees have come from. And we are very sad people to hear that the leader we had elected, with all our might, with all our power, with all our prayer in the church and everywhere, can be impeached by 291 members of parliament. That is ungodly, and that is unforgiveness, and that is unhandled. Number two, we cannot say we have public participation, because even if we fill millions of the form, it never could be counted. What should be counted is regarding to get more than 117 votes from National Assembly. What we are doing here is nonsense, and a waste of time, waste of money, and that is what we are saying. the public position could be conducted by ABC, and now there's no ABC. The National Assembly, what they are doing, they just want to cover up. We hear another day they want to add the years from 5 to 7 years, and they have done nothing to us. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much for those particular views. Now, I want us to take a look at, just the area and how the environment looks like. Of course, not quite a number of people, a lot of people have left already from this particular area. It's just a handful of people in this area. When we arrived here in the morning, there's quite a huge number of people that were here willing, very, eager to come in and conduct this particular exercise and take part in this particular exercise, of impeaching or rather, airing out their views as far as the impeachment of the Deputy President is concerned. This is the hall where this exercise was supposed to be happening. Quite a handful of people in here with some of the forms, in the process of being returned, some actually signing them, despite the many concerns that they've had as far as these forms are concerned. They've been able to raise them. Some were dissatisfied and say they will not be taking part in this particular exercise and decided to leave. Of course, we saw members of County Assembly coming in here and saying, declaring that this particular exercise will not be taking place because of the various concerns that have been raised by the people of this particular region. Right now, some of them, as you can see on this particular table, actually signing these particular forms, trying to air their views, and what we've been able to understand, most of them are actually against the impeachment of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, just trying to do that. And also some of these forms that we are able to look at earlier, of course, one of the concerns that was raised was that these forms were different. They were not the same. We were able to take a look at two of them and can confirm that, of course, the photocopied forms that are on the table and the concerns that the residents were raising are actually legit, because some of the forms were not actually similar. So those are some of the concerns that the residents were able to raise. And of course, on the issue of security, on whether their views are actually going to be taken into consideration in totality, is something that we will wait and see, because they've been able to say that one of the things it's a major concern for them. They do not trust the process. They don't see whether it is going to, their views are going to be taken into consideration because there's no security. But this is exactly where the forms are being submitted, of course, on this particular table, whereby when people are done signing them, this is exactly where they get to submit them, so that their views are taken into record as far as the impeachment motion is concerned. And of course, some of the papers in this particular box, as you can see, have been torn because in just retaliation to what was happening, these torn papers were what the members of the public were against, and saying they are not in line with what they'd been promised before, saying that some members of parliament were actually taking part in making sure that there are different forms so that they get to have their way as far as the impeachment motion of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua is concerned. So this is the whole. This whole at this particular moment, because it is midday, and we do expect that it should be actually, somehow full as members continue, because there are different constituencies that are supposed, that are supposed to be airing their views and giving their views, because this is the central place where all the views of the Mount Kenya residents, especially Nyeri County, are supposed to be coming in. But it is, we can't see a lot of people in this particular area. So meaning that most of their views will not be taken into consideration. And this just because of what we've been able to explain, that they've had their reservations as far as the exercise is concerned, saying the exercise is a sham because it's been infiltrated and people are trying to take advantage of this particular exercise to drive their own agenda. So at this particular moment, just like in any other part of the country where this exercise is happening, what we should be expecting, or rather what is expected, is that we'll have a full hall, people taking their democratic right, members of parliament present, trying to, speak sense to some of their residents and explaining to them why it is important for them to actually take part in this particular exercise, whether they're going to support or whether they are not going to support this particular exercise, so that they get to tick where it is necessary, and also not tick in terms of whether they are not supporting this particular exercise. But right now, behind me, there are no people. What you are able to see here is like somehow more of a disorganization, if we can call it that, because from where we've been outside there's a table, there's a tent for registration, and from that particular tent of registration, they were supposed to get those particular, register themselves, get the forms, sign them, then come and deliver them here. But what you are able to see right now is somehow disorganization as far as this particular area is concerned. Earlier on, like I mentioned, people had taken to the streets. When they came back, they were addressed by their members of county assembly who are talking to them and telling them, okay, we are declaring that Nyeri County will not be taking part in the exercise when it comes to public participation, because what we've been able to experience is not lawful, quote unquote, and now declare that the region will not be taking part in this particular exercise because they feel that their son, which is Rigathi Gachagua, is actually being attacked, and this is a political witch hunt to some extent that just seeks to get Rigathi Gachagua out of office. They declared that they will not be taking part in it, but later on, they were able to be convinced, and now convinced their supporters, some of them, at least, not all of them, because most of them, when they heard that they're supposed to be taking part in the exercise, decided to leave and are now left the premises and not, taking part in this particular exercise. Some of them remained, and this is what they are actually doing at the moment, signing on this particular form so that they get their views expressed and actually tell, get their views actually noted down so that it actually goes into record that Nyeri County did take public participation. But a majority of residents from this particular region have not been taking part in this particular exercise from the moment we arrived here in the morning, because there was a lot of disruption that happened in the morning up to this particular moment. Like I mentioned, we should be seeing a full hall here, but that is not the case. Members of Parliament, most of them have been no-show. We've been able to see the Deputy Governor and members of the County Assembly, coming here and taking part in this particular exercise. Like I said earlier, this region, this particular center is the central place for most of the constituencies in this particular county, and members of Parliament have been nowhere to be seen, of course, as far as this is concerned. Maybe if I just engage one of the residents here and those who are signing on this particular form, kindly, could you talk to us? Unaweza tuongelesha?
Niseme aje?
Issue ni mambo yako ya kusaini. Umesha sign?
Sana asubuhi mapema. Mimi nilisaini nikasema no. Nilisema no juu Gachagua ni wetu na sitaki kuona. Akitaka Gachagua atoke kwa kiti, waende pamoja na yeye.
Mbona unaamini waende pamoja?
Juu tulimchagua juu ya Gachagua wetu.
Mlimchagua Rais Ruto juu ya Gachagua?
Na anakuja kutuambia Gachagua ni mbaya, hatuoni huo ubaya wa Gachagua.
Umeona wabunge wenu wakikwapa?
Sijaimuona.
Hujaona? Okay, na ulifika asubuhi na niliona kulikuwa na rabsha, watu wakikataa kusaini wakaenda. Nini ilikuwa shida?
Wakasema hii makaratasi ni fake.
Uliona kama ni fake?
Nilio aina nini muhuri. Aina.
Okay, sawa.
Ni fake kabisa.
Unaona kama maoni yako wataconsider?
Tunakuja kuona kaa itaenda through. Nione kaa ni kweli vile watu nilisikia wakisema hii ni fake. Nikakuja baadaye nikaenda town, nikaambia watu ni wako huku chini. Unajua watu hawajui wako town, huko town stage ya chini. Hajui hii hall. Wanafikiria ni hapo town hall. Nikaambia ni huku.
Walikufuata?
Walinifuata, nilikuja na wale mama. Nilikuja na huyu na mwingine.
Shukran sana. So that is just one of the residents here has been able to, take part in the exercise, saying, of course, despite having taken part in the exercise, whether they believe this particular, their views are actually going to be taken into consideration is a subject of debate. Can you speak to us? All right. Naona umebeba mtoto na umefika hapa.
Okay, kwa majina naitwa Jeno Wairimu na mimi ni mkaji wa hapa Nyeri. Mimi ningesema Samueli nilimchagua juu ya Rais Gachagua. Na ningeomba wapelekane pamoja na wafanye kazi. So kenye tunataka wafanye kazi. Na mimi ningemuomba Rais William Ruto mahali hapo atikize wenye wananchi wenye wanasema na atimisha kanuni za wananchi. Akitimisha hivyo, sisi hatuna vita na yeye. Na wenye wanampiga, tafadhali ningewasihi waachane na hii mambo ya vita. Sisi tuliwachagua tufanye kazi na tuliwachagua watufanyie kazi hadi miaka 10. So mimi ningeomba kwenye maoni yangu, hiyo ndio mjadala yangu, na mimi ningeomba hata mahali Rais Ruto wako wakiwa na naibu Gachagua, I would like to discuss with them. Please, in honesty, I do request to myself. That is my own speech.
All right, those are just some of the views from Nyeri County, of course, and we want to take it back to you, of course, in studio as we continue following up on what is happening in this particular region as far as this particular exercise is concerned, and whether it's going to get to 5 p.m. and maybe we get to see a difference. But so far, what we've been able to experience is that little action happening in this particular region, with a handful of people taking part in the exercise, ready to make their voices heard, because they did make their stand heard when they took to the streets, chanting songs of solidarity and in support of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, and some songs that were castigating President William Ruto, saying that it was a ticket that when they elected the two, it was a one ticket, and that they do not see the need for one to go and one to remain. If at all that they need to get one out, then both of them need to go, which of course, according to the Constitution, that is not possible. My name is Brian Amwai, coming live from Nyeri. Back to Bentura.
Thank you, Brian Amwai, for that comprehensive update there on public participation in Nyeri County. And from Nyeri County, we cross over to Nakuru County, where a similar exercise had taken place earlier on in the morning. And now let's cross over and take a look at what happened during the day.
Ona haswa ni nini kinachoendelea hapa. Kama ambavyo unaona ni vurugu ambazo zinaendelea hapa katika eneo hili. Kama ambavyo unaona, hizo ni vurugu tu. Wakazi wa hapa wanaonekana kughadhabishwa. Hayo ni makaratasi ambayo walikuwa wakiyatumia kuweka hoja zao, ambayo tunaona tu wanazidi kuyakatakata. Kuanzia masaa ya asubuhi tuliona kwamba hapa swala nzima lilikuwa tu na tumbo joto, kulikuwa na wasiwasi, kulikuwa tu na kutokukubaliana, kama ambavyo unaona. Hizo ni vita. Wacha tuweze kusikiza ambayo wanayasema.
And we are saying we don't want those things. Hizo vitu ziende kabisa. We don't want those things. What these signatures are going. Those things are very fake. Those things are very fake.
We are the people who are taking our signatures. Wanapeleka sahihi yetu wapi? Wakora, wizi, chorinde.
Waliomba kura pamoja, kama wanaenda waende pamoja. Kwa sababu kura waliomba pamoja. Ruto ni mwizi na asiekelea Gachagua, wote waende kama ni konda.
Mimi nasema ya kwamba kama kuna mwizi number 1 William Ruto, and we cannot, hatuwezi impeach Gachagua. Kwa sababu moja ni kwamba the matter is unprocedural. Haifuati 21 days notice. Hii matter haifuati. They must go. We are closing this station and we are closing it right now. Ruto must go.
Hamwezi kutuchukua kila wakati. Kuna maagenda za maana za kusema parliament. Hamwezi kuwa kila wakati. Sisi tunajua kama Gachagua kuna bilioni 5, Ruto kuna bilioni ngapi? Kama hiyo ni ujinga.
Tunasema hivi, kama Gachagua kuna makosa, basi makosa imetoka juu, na hakuna venye shingo inaweza fanya kazi bila kichwa, na samaki huoza kutoka kwa kichwa. Waende nyumbani wote.
Kwanza wewe Mheshimiwa Rama, tunakuomba kama utaimbizi Gachagua usirudi Kaplembwa. Mheshimiwa Rama, tunakuomba ukijaribu kuimbizi Gachagua tusikuone Kaplembwa. Jaribu kuimbizi Gachagua, tutaona.
Shukrani sana. Hizo ni vurugu ambazo zinazidi kuendelea hapa katika ambapo wakazi wa Nakuru wamejifikisha ili kuweza kutoa hoja zao tu. Wanasema hawakubaliani tu na swala nzima la kumng'atua Rigathi Gachagua, wakidai kwamba iwapo naibu rais ataondolewa, basi na pia Rais William Ruto aweze kuondolewa. Kama ambavyo unaona, shughuli imeweza kusitishwa. Hao ni wale ambao walikuwa wanaongoza shughuli hii, wameweza kufunganya virago zao, kufangasha virago vyao, wakisitisha shughuli nzima. Wamesema hawakubaliani na swala nzima, na wakisema kwamba tu ni shere ambayo inachezwa hapa, na wananchi pia wamezidi kusema kwamba kuna mengi ambayo nchi inapitia, mengi ambayo yanafaa kushughulikiwa na serikali, wakidai kwamba serikali iweze tu kushughulikia masuala tofauti ambayo yanaendelea hapa nchini. Hao tu kama ambavyo unaona ni ambao walikuwa wanajihusisha na swala nzima ya kuandikisha hoja za wakazi ambao wameweza kufumaniwa hapa. Tuendelee tu kupata picha hizo.
And from Nakuru County, now we cross over to Murang'a County with the latest development from our reporter Alfin. Good afternoon, Alfin. What are the latest from that side?
Yeah, indeed, it's a nice afternoon over here in Murang'a County, coming to you live from Murang'a University, where the public participation was being conducted. But I think, as you can see behind me, is that there are lots of papers below here. They were not poured by people or maybe something of the sort, but they were exchanging the airwaves with birds in this place. In the morning, as a vehicle that was carrying them, allegedly, they were coming from Gatanga constituency, that people raided on it and teared the papers off and threw them to the ground. And right now, as you can see, that people here were walking in and that's leaving after giving their views and signing on the papers inside the hall or a few meters behind me. But then before that, we get to hear some of the views from the people. They tell us what do they have to give today, and also what is their view concerning the public participation. Karibu Topa, you tell us your name and about this, the whole thing. How is the view?
My name is Rose Modoni, youth representative of Kikuyu Councils of Elders. I would say that Rigathi Gachagua should stay because this is a disrespect to the people of Mount Kenya, where we saw Nurdin Haji the time Gachagua tried to say about his corruption. All the Muslims and northeastern region leaders came together and supported Nurdin Haji. So that's why today we are saying Rigathi is our son. We are supporting him to stay in the office, and he's going nowhere. And if he's going, they should go, both of them. Yes.
Thank you. We get to hear from you. Welcome. Give us a view concerning the whole.
Thank you. My name is JM, a youth leader from Murang'a County, and we came here today to do the voting, and we are seeing it candidly and firmly that the DP is going nowhere. One, because the process that is going on is a process to solve political things, and not because of because of transparency. Because one, the changes that has been highlighted about the deputy president, for example, about corruption, we know who is the king of corruption in this country, and it's not Rigathi Gachagua, and all these people know. So all those things that has been highlighted about Rigathi Gachagua, they are not true, and there are people who are trying to solve political things in this country. So Gachagua must stay.
We get to hear from you. Tell us what are some of the views that you have concerning the whole process.
My name is Mongi Sanchez from Murang'a County, Kangema constituency. I will say there is no sacred cow when it comes to corruption. There is none whatsoever. Gachagua is the face of corruption in this country. You cannot tell us that he has accumulated a wealth of 5.7 billion within a period of 2 years. He's all over buying some hotels, buying some lands, acquiring some choppers and what, and you come tell us that he is stealing from Mount Kenya. He is not stealing from Mount Kenya. He is stealing for himself and his children. Gachagua must go.
We get to hear from you, tell us some of the views you have concerning the whole process.
Okay, kwa majina naitwa Muradhi Magoshi kutoka Murang'a County, na hisia zangu kuhusu hii kesi iko hivi. One, hii vita si ya Mount Kenya. Hii vita ni ya watu wawili walioana. Saa hii Gachagua anafaa kuwa amekuja Mount Kenya, ametuambia the reason why inafukuzwa ni juu nimewatetea kahawa, nimewatetea majani chai, zile shida tuko nazo. Saa hii universities ziko na shida. Hajaongea, yeye mwenyewe hajakuja Mount Kenya atuambie the reason why I'm impeached ni juu nawatetea. Kwa hivyo saa hii hatujasikia vyenye yeye anasema, hajatuambia mbona anaimpeachiwa. So hakuna vita ya Mount Kenya, ni vita ya watu wawili wameoana. Na yeye alisimama time ya debate akasema is worth 800 million. As we speak, tunasikia amenunua nini? Hakuna mwizi wa nyumbani, hakuna. Na saa hii as we speak, kuna watu wanasema sijui asiende nyumbani. Hatuna shida, lakini akienda nyumbani si Mount Kenya inaenda nyumbani. We have other leaders. Mbona our leaders wa Mount Kenya? We have businessmen in Mount Kenya. Mbona hawaongei? Mbona hatujaona leaders, Christian leaders? Mbona hawaongei? What is behind this thing? Again, hata Ruto yeye mwenyewe akuja atuambie ni nini imehappen. Mtu, the reason why we can't see these businessmen behind Gachagua, yeye ndiye alichimba hii shimo anaingia. Alipiga Uhuru. We could have hearing Uhuru speaking right now akiongea. Saa hii hawaongei. Kwa nini? Sisi raia, saa hii as we speak, mamangu hajui kuna impeachment saa hii. Hajui, wale watu wanajua impeachment ya Gachagua saa hii ni political leaders. Gachagua aende.
Asante. Usikie pia sehemu zako utuambie ni yapi nayo.
Kwa majina mimi naitwa Mwangi ama Booster. Mimi ile kitu naweza sema, hii kitu kinaendelea, president wetu na Rigathi Gachagua tuliwachagua baroti moja. Sasa ile hatujui, sisi raia hatujui nini waliulizana, kwa sababu hakuna mmoja wao amekuja akatuambia huyu amefanya huyu amefanya. Ni kitu imeletwa bunge, MP wakasema, MP wa sasa wamesema Gachagua afanye nini, aende nyumbani. Kwa hivyo sasa tunasema waende wakiwa wawili, pumzike.
Tell us what are some of the views you have concerning the whole process.
In my point of view, my name is Bernard Mwagi Pius, Boda Boda Chair, Keharo constituency, and a business community leader. In my opinion, I would say Gachagua should not go. Since we elected both of them, they are counted eligible to go, both of them. Because what we don't understand as a voters is actually the reason why are they fighting two of them. We as Wajiko, we actually don't know what is cooking in, but the parliament stated that they should go, of which it should have started to Wajiko, then taken back to the parliament. So me, I want to say Gachagua should not go.
Thank you. We get to hear a word from you, Mzee. Tell us what is the take concerning the whole process.
Thank you. My name is John Gigi from Kandara. In my view, these allegations are against Gachagua, apart from this one of corruption and buying the hotels. The others, they are mainly about Gachagua said Gachagua did this. And I would say, if we say Gachagua must go because he has been talking, then we are fighting against the freedom of speech. And if we say Gachagua about this, he must go, there are questions we should ask ourselves. Yes. Did he buy in cash? Did he buy on loan? There are things that are not clear to the Wananchi so that we can decide clearly. Yes. Maybe those matters can be decided. Another thing about the corruption that he has been fighting against other people, I would say we should not focus on Gachagua alone. An audit should be done in different departments. Let's say in these 2 years Gachagua has been there, who has been employed? Is it Kikuyu or the other? The other thing about this one that he's fighting the other tribes, I can say for myself, if a Kikuyu son or daughter in secondary cannot get bursary, and Gachagua anasema, he's asking that we should get bursary, is it tribal? All the children in Kenya are equal, hata kama amezaliwa. See, it's not fair that a child in Murang'a is hard to get bursary of 3,000, while as in other parts of the country, others are getting even scholarship to go abroad. So if Gachagua is saying that even our children should get money for education, I would say fighting against him is not fair. Thank you.
Thank you. Get heard from you, tell us your name and who's the take consider the whole process.
Thank you very much. My name is Fides Munene. I am the youth leader here in Kiharu. And my point of view is this one. Wakati tulienda kuchaguana, CMP walienda kuchaguana. Yes, walikuwa hapo. Lakini wao wanasema Gachagua should go. Why? We are the one who should say it. Yes. And my point of view, which is the Gen Z, tunasema ni kufa makanga, kufa dereva. That is what we are saying. And the next point of view is, if Ruto is very genuine, alikuwa anasema wakati aliachwa na Uhuru, alikuwa na uchungu mingi sana. So kwa nini anakuja kufanyia Gachagua hii maneno? Kwa nini anakuja kuumiza mtu wetu? Wakati alifanywa venye alifanywa na Uhuru, alikuja na kwetu akatuambia na tukamsikia sana na tulimsikia because of Gachagua. That is the point of view. So our point as the Gen Z tunasema ni kufa makanga, kufa dereva. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. My name is Eric Moturi and I'm a student here at Murang'a University. And I would say the allegation against the Deputy President of Kenya are politically motivated. The Deputy President of Kenya has been advancing the interest of this region, and this is something that we are in full support of it, and we are saying that we are going to stand with Gachagua because he has been asking for bursaries increment for the people of this region. And sometimes in my constituency, like Naivasha constituency, you find people from that region because we are too many. We are getting bursaries of about 2,000, while other regions, they are getting about 80,000 and above. That is one of the reasons we are saying as people from this region, we are going to stand behind the Deputy President, and nothing is going to happen to him because we are fully behind him. And if he must go, then he should go down together with the President, Dr. William Ruto. Yes. Thank you. Yes.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Macfellan Kimutai. I'm a student here at Murang'a University. And the first thing that I would like to talk about is the issue of corruption. All leaders, we can't say only one leader is corrupt. Looking everybody, any kind of a leader mwenye ako Kenya saizi, wote wako corrupt. So wakianza kwa accuse somebody about corruption and so on, we know each and every leader, everywhere you go, utapata all of them, they are corrupt. Mali ya umma wanakula. Na wanakuja kutuambia, unajua uwezi ukatoa mtu mmoja. You can't, usipozipa uva, utajenga ukuta. So kila mtu wenye wako hapo hiyo government, we know all of them, they are corrupt. And the next issue that I have, kama we have one of our students, mwenye yako mgonjwa, he has an issue, kidney nini, ako na shida ya kidney, so anahitaji kufanyiwa kidney transplant. We have reached many leaders, so wanasema hao ni viongozi wetu, sisi ndo tulioelect, sio government wenyewe. Tuma request watusaidie, support hiyo kijana. They require 2.5 million. Saizi wamepata 1.5. When you go, tuna request leaders watusaidie. None of the leaders ametoa hata shilingi. So tulikuwa tunaomba sisi kama Gen Z, hatutaki hizo story wanaanza kutupigia tuanze story na impeachment, and yet critical issue kama health au wenyewe wanakuja, unapata like an MCA, unamwambia kitu anatuambia nimetoa pesa on such silly things, kitu haisaidii Mkenya. Tunashindwa, issue ni health ama issue ni hiyo kuja uniambia umejengea watu atu unawapeleka wacheze nini hizo tournaments. So kama Gen Z tunasema kama mtataka kutusaidia, tuna request, actually we humbly request from leaders, kama mtapenda kutusaidia hii amount to erase afanyiwe kidney transplant, tutashukuru. Na tena kama watataka, Gen Z ni wale salamu zinafikanga kila kona na tunashukuru.
Kama mkazi unasikia gani kusana hivi?
Kwa majina yangu naitwa Firis na nafanyanga kazi Mukoyo. Mimi nauliza, tulichagua viongozi waende kuimpichana ama tuliwachagua watusaidie? Kama mimi ni mama mboga, nilikuwa nangojea serikali hii tusaidie, nikienda ninunue mandizi ya 500. niuze napata 200. Sasa pesa ni mfukoni ama si mfukoni? Na sasa nataka kusema mambo ya Gachagua. Gachagua akitoka, Ruto atoke. Hakuna kazi nyingine tunafanya. Wamama sisi tunafinyika huku, shule tunashindwa kulipa na wao ni impeachment. Tuliwachagua, swali yangu ni hili. Tuliwachagua mtufanyie kazi ama ni impeachment? Kama ni impeachment, tuimpeach kutoka president to MCA. Kuna kazi nyingine.
Tusikie pia tuambie labda yako ni gani kuhusiana na swala hili.
Mimi naitwa Ngena kutoka Kehio Mwere, Gatanga sub county. Ningetaka kusema hawa watu wawili Ruto na Gachagua tuliwachagua pamoja. Na Ruto tulimpatia sababu ya Gachagua. Kama ni kuenda waende wote wawili. Hatutaki kujua Kenya wanaulizana. Turudi kwa ballot na hii maneno ya kuja public participation ati the whole of Murang'a kwa public participation moja, vitu kama hizi zipelekwe kwa polling stations, venye tukipiga kula tulipigia kwa polling stations, waende wote wawili. Na hakuna mahali Rigathi anaenda.
Asante. Tusikie pia simu za social karibia tu hapa. Tupatie maoni yako kuhusiana na zoezi zima za kuweza kumtimua Gachagua.
Haya. Mimi naitwa Joycelyn Waithera kutoka Mokoyo. Mimi kazi yangu ni kufanya biashara dogo dogo. Lakini sasa sisi tunasikia hii kiwanja ya ndege inaenda. Sasa tunasikia ate mambo ya stima inaenda. Sasa tunasikia hii herozi ililetwa hapa sasa inaenda kwa mtu mmoja. Hao ni watu wameungana pamoja waibe hii ya ndege mali yetu. Sasa tunasema sababu Gachagua anatoa hiyo mambo ije ate hii inaenda na hii inaenda, hiyo ndio mambo inatokea. Tunasema Gachagua akienda waende wote, hakuna mmoja mzuri. Mali imeibiwa na tunajua imeibiwa. Sasa dereva aende, makanga aende.
Sikia simu zako karibu tu hapa. Patie maoni yako kuhusiana na zoezi hili nzima.
Mimi yangu ni machache. Mimi naitwa Josephine Kimani. Mimi ni mkaaji wa hapa Murang'a town. I deal with mtubas. Lakini mimi maoni yangu ni kuuliza, kusema ukweli, hawa watu walichaguliwa wakiwa wawili. Na kile kinawafanya waseme Gachagua ni tribalistic ni sababu ya kuunganisha Mount Kenya. Ni waulize, hawa Makalejin wana chama chao. Hawa Jaruo wameshida, they have been at a rider for many years. Hawa Waruya wako na chao. Lakini ikifika Central Province, ikifika huku mlima, wanasema Gachagua ni tribalistic sababu anaunganisha watu wao. Niulize, hawa watu wote ni wezi. And I cannot be ashamed nikisema hivyo. Na mwizi yule mkubwa sana ni Ruto. Huyo ni mwizi sana. Huyo ni mwizi. Na wakati alienda na ndege ya milioni 2, why didn't they impeach him? Kwani huyo nani wetu amefanya nini? I want to say, na mimi nasimama kama mwanamke na kama mama, waachane na Gachagua. Hakuna mahali Gachagua anaenda. Na akienda, hata kama watasema sisi tunafanya kazi ya goe, watakipata.
Tusikie pia zako karibu hapa. Tupatie maoni yako kama mkazi.
Kwa majina yangu naitwa Mary kutoka Murang'a Kadala. Na mimi naonelea hivi, Gachagua aendelee na kufanya kazi yake. Juu sisi tuliwachagua wakiwa wawili, Ruto na Gachagua. Na sasa tunaona mtu mmoja akienda na mwingine naye aende. Hatutaki Gachagua aende, Ruto abaki kwa kiti. Juu tuliwachagua wakiwa wagapi? Wawili. Na tunaomba hivi, juu hii serikali iko na corruption mingi sana. Hatutaki kusikia ati Gachagua ndiye ako na corruption. Hapana, wako na corruption wote wakiwa kwa serikali. Juu mambo yetu hata hiyo tunaona ya uwanja ya ndege inakimbia, inaenda kukodishwa. Hii nchi yetu tayari imeuswa. Na sasa tunataka Gachagua akae kwa kiti. Na akienda sisi nasi tutaandamana kwa barabara sisi wote.
Just give us a view concerning the whole process.
Mimi naitwa Simon Mwangi, na lile jambo naweza zungumzia hii motion ya impeachment. It is not the rightful time to bring this motion. Since Kenya are tired. Tukitoka kwa uchaguzi tunaingia kwa politics zingine ambazo haziletai mwananchi faida. Si tunataka Wajiko wafanyiwe kazi. Na kama Ruto ameshindwa na kazi, atuambie aondokee kiti, kiti tupee mtu mwingine aendelee na kazi, kwa maana ametuchosha. Kila wakati demonstration, kila wakati sijui bunge wanafanya nini. Kama wale wabunge tulichagua hawajui kazi zao, basi watuelekeze na watuambie wameshindwa kazi zao, tuingie huko, tuwatoe, kazi iendelee kufanywa na wale wataweza kazi. Otherwise, impeachment, it is not complete, it doesn't have any foundation, so waachane na Gachagua, na kama Gachagua ataenda, basi jia ni ile ile tu, na chenye atafanyia Gachagua, hata tutamfanyia. Na kama anataka turudi kwa barabara, bado hatujachoka, tunarudi tu kwa barabara. Asante.
Okay, excuse me. Mimi naitwa Njogu, mkazi hapa Murang'a. So I think what I have to say according to this issue, we should be prudent with what we are saying, kwa sababu we don't want to go back to the political crisis, kwa sababu saizi wenye economy iko, it will bring us back to what we are. Na sasa sisi hatutaki hivyo. So me what I was calling for, wenye wanaongea ubaya wa Gachagua, wajue Gachagua alichaguliwa na Ruto. Sisi tulienda, ule ni bibi na bwana, tulienda tukachagua wakiwa wawili. So I think we should be very prudent, na tujue hii ni taifa, na taifa tutaki kuirudisha mahali ilikuwa, because right now we want to go to political crisis, na tutavua economy hakuna, saizi hakuna pesa na hakuna. Sasa tukirudi huko, we are going back, tutarudi mahali mbaya. So we should be very crucial, lakini Gachagua abaki.
Asante. Hivi tukimalizia, tuambie, karibu tu hapa, tuambie labda unahisi gani kuhusiana na swala hili nzima.
Mimi majina yangu ni Steven Muremi, ni mkaji hapa Murang'a County, na mimi ni mwanabiashara. Nikitazama hii maneno, kitu ya kwanza naona Ruto akiwa na unafiki mwingi sana. Huyu jamaa alikuja hapa na Bible, alikuwa anatembea kwa kanisa, anatoa pesa, na hizo pesa bado ndiye alikuwa amepora wakati alikuwa anafanya kampeni. Akakuja akachukua watu wetu akina Gachagua. Gachagua akamzungusha huku kote, tukasimama na wao wakiwa wawili. Lakini saa hii amenyamaza hivi, na ma-MP ati ndio wanaenda kuimpeach Gachagua. Kwa nini yeye asiongee? Hatujasikia Ruto akiongea. So kitu moja tunasema, kwa nini asitokee aseme wamekosania nini na Gachagua? Sisi tunataka Gachagua remain, Gachagua apiganie haki zetu kama watu wa Mount Kenya, na we are behind Gachagua.
Maybe in 30 seconds you tell us what is your views concerning the whole process.
My name is Misha Kikevenjo Wainaina from Kigumo, a student in this university, Murang'a University. Mimi chenye naweza sema ni hao ma-MP wenye wanasema Gachagua aende, pia wao wanafaa kuwa nyumbani, because the effort that they are putting kwa hii motion ya Gachagua kuenda, wangeweka kwa motions zingine important, hiyo tungesaidika kama wananchi. Then kunaonekana kuna kitu wanaficha juu, wanataka waondoe Gachagua ndio waeke mwingine afiche mambo zenye kama ni corruption, wanasema mambo ya hoteli na nini, wao wameiba nini.
Well, we apologize for that technical hitch there. And from Murang'a, we cross over to Mtihani House, where Cabinet Secretary for Education Julius Ugamba is launching the national exams. Let's cross over live and listen in.
We deliver a credible national assessments and examinations. Besides, I also wish to take this opportunity to thank the principal secretaries of all our ministries and departments and the Teacher Service Commission for the preparations they have made that have led to the successful launch that we are witnessing here today. Ladies and gentlemen, this year marks a historical turning point for our country since 1985. It is the first time that our country will not be having a summative national examination in the name of the Kenya Certificate of Primary Education, which was first administered in 1985 at the advent of the 844 system. The last KCPE, as you all know, was held last year. At the primary level, we will administer the Kenya Primary School Education Assessment, KPSEA, whose key purpose is to monitor learner progress as they proceed to junior school. In total this year, ladies and gentlemen, 1,313,913 candidates will sit for the Kenya Primary School Education Assessment, KPSEA, while 965,501 candidates will sit for the Kenya National Certificate for Secondary Education, KCSE, compared with 1,282,574 and 260,000 candidates who sat the two-level assessments in 2023. I wish to inform Kenyans that we'll no longer have any ceremony to release results of either the Kenya Primary School Education Assessment, KPSEA, or the Kenya Intermediate Level Education Assessment, KILEA, as has been the case with KCPE. This is indeed in tandem with the spirit of the competency-based education, where it is intended that we reduce the cutthroat competition that has always been associated with national examinations. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to assure the country that the systematic phased implementation of the CBC is progressing on very well. Currently, we are constructing 16,000 classrooms in our junior schools that will accommodate the learners joining grade 9 in 2025. Indeed, yesterday, I visited the counties of Nairobi, Machakos, and Makueni, where I witnessed firsthand the excellent progress that our schools are making in the construction of these classrooms. I am confident that all the classrooms will be ready ahead of the start of the 2025 academic calendar. I urge you to work closely with the National Government Constituency Development Fund to avoid duplication of beneficiaries where we are collaborating with them with respect to construction of these classrooms. Ladies and gentlemen, I take cognizance of the fact that education is a process, a chain from curriculum development, curriculum delivery, and assessment of the curriculum, and hereby urge all of us to bring our synergy together to ensure that the examination and assessments are administered credibly. I particularly urge all the stakeholders involved in the entire ecosystem of administering examinations and assessments to adhere to the laid down rules and regulations to secure the credibility of the entire process. I urge you to pay attention to the innovations that we've been briefed on that will be in place this year. These innovations include the introduction of personalized question papers for the KCSE examination candidates, whereby the candidates' names will be pre-printed on their question papers. Stakeholders represented here today from various departments and ministries are urged to enhance the security of the national examinations and assessments during the conduct and the marking of the candidate scripts. I urge that we pull all stops to ensure that the administration of the assessments and examinations is fair and free of malpractices. The government shall have no mercy on anyone who will be found engaging in examination offenses or malpractices. I'll repeat that. The government shall have no mercy on anyone who will be found engaging in any examination offenses or malpractices. I therefore call upon all of you and the candidates, center managers, supervisors, invigilators to comply with the examination regulations, failure to which they will face the full force of the law. And this is for good reason. When we compromise our examinations, we compromise the standards of our certificates, all of us, and that affects our economy. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to assure you that the challenges experienced in 2023 in the collection of examination materials for the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education twice a day have been addressed by introducing an extra 41 containers as the CEO had indicated. This will ensure that the distance covered by center managers to and from the distribution centers is much shorter. Overall, the ministry and the whole of government has put in place strategies to ensure that this year's examination will be conducted with minimal challenges. We are all committed to working together to deliver credible results. Ladies and gentlemen, I urge all the regional and county directors of education to be alert during this time of the examination and assessments and to attend to any challenges that may arise in their respective regions and counties. We must work closely with our Teacher Service Commission counterparts to ensure the smooth running of the examinations. It should be noted, ladies and gentlemen, that some of the examination papers for oral, and small candidature papers will be starting on October 22nd, 2024, meaning that we have less than 3 weeks remaining to actual start of the national assessments. To ensure that the candidates are afforded a conducive environment for their final preparations, I direct center managers to desist from allowing any meetings or visits to places in school within which, during this third term. There are clear instructions, there is a circular, do not have any activities in school this term as we allow the children to prepare for their exams. With these remarks, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and pleasure to launch the 2024 National Examination and Assessment Season and officiate the issuing of security padlocks for the 617 distribution centers to the Deputy County Commissioners and the Sub-County Directors of Education. Thank you. Thank you, and once again, for being here today, and may God bless you all. At this juncture, we want to also launch the Kenya National Examination Council Strategic Plan for 2023-2027 before we move to the other side. Do you want to do it? Okay.
That's the Education Cabinet Secretary Ivea Julius Ogamba releasing this year's national examination. And just a development on the public participation, a High Court in Kerugoya has ordered the National Assembly to conduct the public participation exercise in all the constituencies. This after a petition that was filed by Kirinyaga woman representative. Initially, the National Assembly had planned this exercise in 47 centers across all the 47 counties. Definitely, these are some of the developments that we'll be bringing to you in our subsequent bulletins. But at this point, we've come to the end of K24 Newscast. Many thanks for keeping me company. My name is Bentura Komboka, and do have yourself a good afternoon. Bye-bye.